WNST, as well as our YouTube WNST TV channel, have seen me wearing the blue hat of the Baltimore Brigade and the big B that I've been wearing here all week. It is indoor football season down at the Rofo Arena. The Baltimore Brigade begin their second season doing arena football. A lot of labor issues, team issues, ownership issues, but we all know Ted Leonsis and the Monumental Sports folks are behind this. Jeff Bowler runs the operation for all things Baltimore Brigade. He makes his inaugural appearance here at WNST as we are a partner of the Brigade this year, trying to get some folks downtown for any good reason. And Jeff, first off, welcome in. Light City is going on downtown. I've told people that's free and cool and come down, and certainly stopping by and checking out what you've got to offer in indoor football. I know how hard you and all the folks around the Brigade and around Monumental have worked to try to get this thing organized and get it going. It has been slow going in the early part of this, and I think Ted knew that going in, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Listen, Ted likes to call this league a fallen angel, and we got into this business knowing what the state of the league was, and really what our vision was is to take it down to the studs and rebuild it. And the most important thing for us was to finally do it right, to have the right people in place, the right ownership groups, the right markets, to put the energy behind this league. Because our problem has never been the product on the field. Our product has come from other issues off of the field. And what we're trying to do is come in and correct all those issues, build a stable platform for this league to grow on. And that's what we're focusing a lot of our energy on. And we're excited about where we are. We're excited about having 4 years of labor peace where we can build a great relationship with the union and our players, and build a platform that we can build this league into what it really truly should become.
You know, it's different. The rules are different. The vibe's different. What you're trying to do in the arenas and utilizing these arenas into the spring and the summer, getting people downtown, all of that. Really, from the seedling of football and saying, do people want to come inside and watch football? Do they? I mean, that would be the question I would have 20, 25 years into this. I mean, Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame, and he's famous for having done this. And all these years later, I mean, the NFL tried a thing in Europe outside, and they went away from it. I mean, the models change and the business changes, but this used to be a league where these kids would come in trying to make the NFL. I think the rules and the way the game is played, much like the Canadian game, it's not as much of that anymore. I mean, the guys that commit to I want to play arena football, they're not necessarily thinking they're trying out for the Packers anymore, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, we always want our players to have that opportunity and to keep that dream alive. It's part of what motivates them. But, yeah, listen, the majority of our players in this league are not going to have an opportunity to play in the NFL. A lot of them have had it. They've been in an NFL camp. Maybe they were undrafted and got invited to a camp. So a lot of our guys have had some NFL experience, but they're at a point in their careers now where they're going to play the indoor game. And that's really what we want to build on. We want guys that want to be here and to play in this league and help this league grow. Not that we would ever hold a player back from pursuing his dreams of playing in the NFL, but the reality is when you become an AFL player, most likely you're going to be an AFL player. And it truly is a very different game. I mean, there's guys that come from the NFL game to try and play the AFL game, and it's very difficult for them. It's a big adjustment. It's a much faster game. Obviously, the constraints of the field and the walls make it different. The angles are different. So some guys have a hard time adjusting to this game and the speed. So we look at it as a completely separate game than the NFL game, and it is a different type of player, a different type of quarterback that could have success in this league versus the NFL league. And we think that's part of the appeal. And playing indoors, listen, we believe in indoor sports very strongly. We think indoor sports have a significantly stronger future in our country than outdoor sports. And we think that the
really that's a really interesting, and I know like your background and where you come from, and you come from the Cleveland background where they built basketball, and hockey's never sort of worked there. We're in Baltimore where basketball and hockey didn't work here 40 or 50 years ago. We don't have the right building here. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. Certainly with Royal Farms and not a modern building, a building I still love going to all the time. I tell people that all the time. Like, I live downtown. I walk 5 blocks away. I, saw Aerosmith and Van Halen back there in 81. Elvis played there. Zeppelin played there. The Beatles played. I dig it. Anytime, Frank gets something cool going into the arena, I like it. But I would also say for your league and where you are, 4 teams now, and how many guys want to play arena football, you're going to get a better brand of football. You're going to get better football teams than trying to field 12 or 14 or 16 arena football league teams right now, right?
Yeah, so we fully expect the competition and the quality of football to be extremely high this year. We have 4 quarterbacks in this league. Every team has an MVP caliber quarterback, and we think that's really, really exciting for our fans. We brought in Randy Hippert to be our quarterback in Baltimore, who is the reigning league MVP, and has had a lot of success in this league. I mean, listen, we went into the year last year with 2 quarterbacks who had combined 1 snap in the Arena Football League prior to that. And This year we go in, and our quarterback room is Shane Boyd and Randy Hibbert, who have had thousands of snaps, league MVPs, both been starters and had success. So we're really confident that we have the right leaders at the quarterback position and really across the league. We're excited about all the quarterbacks that we have, and we think that's going to make for a great product for our fans. And yeah, listen, Royal Farms Arena, would all of us want a brand new arena to go play in? Of course, but Royal Farms Arena is a small arena, probably the right size for an Arena Football League team. And when you get even 5,000-6,000 fans in that arena, it's loud and it's intimate, and they're on top of the field. And we're all about, we need to create a home field advantage for our guys, and we need to make it loud. And what we love about playing in Baltimore is that Baltimore fans are into the game. They want to watch the game. They're concerned about whether our team's winning or not, and we're scoring points, and they're following that part of it, and that's good for us. And so we want to dig into that passion that Baltimore fans have for football. And the indoor version, we think people can be just as passionate as they are about the Ravens. And we feel like that's an arena where if we get the right amount of people in that arena, we can have one of the best home field advantages in the league. So we're excited about that.
Jeff Bowler heads up the business operations as the VP of all things Baltimore Brigade. We are partners with Brigade this year. We'll be promoting all the games. You can go to BaltimoreBrigade.com. The roster's up there. The players are up there, whether it's Shane Boyd and Randy Hippert. You get their backgrounds as well. Learn all about the schedule. And obviously the Monumental Sports app is also there to watch the games from different angles. And we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But the season starts this week here and works in. There's home games on the 28th, also on the 4th, and on May 25th against the Philadelphia Soul, and you can learn more at BaltimoreBrigade.com. All of our WNST programming brought to you by our friends at Pizza John's down in Essex. They love football down at Pizza John's as well. We might be taking in a Caps game or 2 there as well. Don't forget, Game 3, we're going to be at Michael's Cafe in Timonium for a viewing party for the Caps as they go out to Columbus. I'm not traveling. I don't feel like going to Columbus next week. Instead, I'm going to go to Timonium and watch the Grade 8 and my dear friend Barry Trotz, where we had him 2 weeks ago there for There Goes My Hero and for swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry. So I hope to see you out at Michael's Cafe on Tuesday night for Game 3 of the Caps and the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. All of our WNST programming brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank, a relentless commitment to being the best at everything they do. Branches throughout Baltimore and Maryland, a unique hands-on approach to banking. They're also sponsoring our Thursday charity and community series along with my friends at Cole Roofing, and Billy Cole joined us earlier this week. You can hear that out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. But Howard Bank and Cole Roofing putting charities together. Another huge week here. We had the Brigance Brigade last week. We also had Casey Cares last week. This week we're going to be promoting St. Ursula's as well as animals and being kind to animals, as well as the Muscular Dystrophy Association and the golf tournament that our friends at Jerry's Toyota and Jerry's Chevrolet Mitsubishi are putting on later on. We'll be telling you about that with Bill Bolander on Thursday. All of that brought to you by Howard Bank as well as Cole Roofing. It is our Thursday charity and community series. Jeff Bowler is our guest. He is the VP of all things business, and the business of football inside here the next couple months is going to be the Arena Football League and the Brigade. Give everyone a background on the league and who owns the teams, and Ted owning this team and that team, and trying to, as you said, get the nuts and bolts together to regenerate something that for 20 or 25 years has produced some Kurt Warners and some players here and again, but certainly has not produced a business model that has caught on over the last quarter of a century. Ted's trying to change that, right?
Yeah, we are. So this league has been around for 31 years, and it's gone through stretches of very significant success, and it's gone through times where it was tough. We've had some work stoppages and player strikes, and so what we've looked at is that we looked at the game itself, and does the game itself have potential, and what's engaging about it that's going to attract fans, that's going to attract millennials, and it's going to attract sports fans in the way that they consume their sports this day and age. And so when we made the decision to purchase not just one, but two teams, we did that on the basis of where we thought this league could go. Obviously not where it is today. We have 4 teams. We have 2 ownership groups led by Ted on our end and Ron Jaworski with the Philadelphia and Albany groups. And
by the way, I had Jaws on at the Super Bowl. He was plugging away. We sat down at the Super Bowl, and he's like, of course I'm here to talk Arena Football League. So you got an advocate in Jaws for sure.
Yeah, he is passionate about it, and that's what you'll find when you talk to people who have been around this league for a long time and worked in this league for a long time. They're passionate about it, and there's something to that. There's something about this league. If you talk to somebody who's been around it, it's just special, and it creates this bond and this unity and this family that you just don't find in other professional sports leagues. And I'm not just talking about the players in the front office, but our fans and their connection to our players. And so we're trying to build it. We're trying to create a platform that we can go out to sell to other ownership groups, and we are in expansion mode. We are going out and we are pitching this league to other ownership groups, and we are optimistic, highly optimistic, that we're going to find other ownership groups in the next year that are going to commit to joining this league and grow this with us. But we also know that we need to change the game, and we need to make this more appealing to a wider subset of fans. And we don't want this to just be a date night or a super fan or a millennial. We want this to be attractive to everybody. So we want to introduce new camera angles. We want to introduce new technology and helmet cams and give fans access that they would never have with any other professional sports league. And we want fans to come out and give this a chance. We're going to build this, and we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to introduce some things that nobody has ever seen in professional sports, and we're excited about some announcements coming very soon that I think fans are going to be excited about. But we need the community to come out and support it, and we need them to embrace it. And we are committed to giving them a great product, and we know that there's some exciting days ahead for us as we build this thing.
Well, I mean, the Orioles have had crowds of 2,000 and 3,000 this week.
Yeah.
That's just where we are. It's where the city is. It's where, as you pointed out, indoor versus outdoor. Outdoor baseball on a 38-degree night was a bad idea 100 years ago. It was a bad idea 50 years ago. It was a bad idea on Monday night. It was a bad idea down in D.C. on Sunday night when the Mets came in. So, I get all of that and how many games they play and the at-bats and all of that stuff. For you guys, you put on Arena Football and you see empty seats. You're always going to see empty seats, but you see that in baseball now. You see, you see that in the NFL now. We have 30,000 empty seats at our football games here for a team that's brought two Lombardi trophies here in the last 15 years. So I'm worried about all of this. I talk about it very frankly as a guy who's tied my entire life to Baltimore sports, all of my life, and I turned 50 this year. I am worried about what the next 10, 20, 30 years look like and where the innovation's coming from and where the interest is going to come from. But for you, the short-term expectations that you're going to play a bunch of football games here in the next 6, 8, 10 weeks, what are you expecting to find at the end of the summer that doesn't exist now here in April as you get going into your second year, and things that maybe you learned last year about what not to do this year, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, part of last year was exploratory for us in finding out what's important to the fans in Baltimore, getting used to the arena and getting used to that market in general. Listen, we look at this as one large market, and we haven't been on the ground in Baltimore, and we know that the Baltimore fans in the city of Baltimore is very different than D.C., and so we need to figure out a way to tap into that and get the vibe of what's important to the fans in Baltimore. But more importantly, as we grow this, because again, while we're focused on our two teams, we're also focused on the league in general, and we're all in this together. So how can we make this league different than all the other options that people have to spend the limited entertainment dollars that you have? And you're absolutely right. You look around Major League Baseball, And I still can't figure out myself why there's games being played in 30-degree weather in the beginning of April and there's empty stadiums. There's got to be a better way. And that's how we look at it. We look at some of our emptier buildings and we look at the product, and there's a disconnect. Our product is great. We are confident in our product, but why aren't more people buying into this league? Why aren't they believing in it? And we're looking to find those answers. And again, part of it is introducing new technology. We're really excited about the potential of gaming down the road with our product, and we think that could be a really huge piece for us, and we hope that...
The whole world's betting on that, right? I mean, the NFL,
yeah.
the NBA, I mean, Ted's in all these meetings like that too, is that is the model in Europe, is that you literally can bet on the next play on your phone from where you are, and, everybody's making money on that except the leagues, right? I mean, that's the one spot that, and the leagues make a lot of exclusive money on a lot of things now, boxing guys like me out, especially on the media side and other things. But that's the one thing where the bookies and the gamblers and the offshores are still getting rich, and nobody on the inside's making money on that.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be open-minded, and I think you have to be entrepreneurial and you have to be forward-thinking, and you can't get stuck in, professional sports 30 years ago were this. You have to look forward and see how fans are consuming their sports and information, how they're always on their smartphones, how they're using tablets, how they're watching short bursts of videos constantly, and you have to figure out how can you tie that in. And listen, the TVs are unbelievable now. It's great to stay at home in the comforts of your own home and watch a game on your HD TV, and I think that's something that's hurting the sports landscape, and so we have to combat that and find a reason for people to come down to Baltimore downtown and come to Royal Farms Arena and watch our games. And it has to be more than just our game. Like, the football's always been there, but the attendance hasn't. So we need to add other elements. We need to add the betting. We need to add different camera angles. We need to add technology and other ways for fans to consume our game, even when they're at the arena. This game itself has always had an unbelievable connection with the fans and the players. They can come down on the field after every game and meet our players. So we've got that element of it already. I think we do that pretty well. We're going to continue to emphasize and improve that. But there's a lot of other things that we can do. Even for the fans that are at home, all of our games that aren't on CBS are going to be streamed on Facebook this year. And so we want to provide different camera angles for people to watch those games and ways for them to interact with our on-air talent. So we're looking for all different types of ways that we can make this a product that fans are going to enjoy.
He is Jeff Bowler. He is the VP of all things business with the Baltimore Brigade. The business of Brigades football begins this Friday night against the Washington Valor. Long season home games, and I'm going to go through the schedule here with you. April 28th, May 4th, May 25th, then into June on June 15th and 23. So I'm adding it up. That is 6 home games and 6 chances to come out. Look, Jeff, the Orioles are giving kids free tickets to the game, and it still hasn't worked thus far. From a pricing standpoint, someone coming in and giving it a chance and coming inside, buying a beer, buying a sliced pizza, whatever it's going to be to come downtown and see you guys play. And I look at the games, they're mainly evening games, right? 7 o'clock games. There is a 3 o'clock game on April the 28th, a couple weeks from now. But they're mainly evenings, Friday night, Saturday night, obviously date night, evening out, come get dinner, whatever it is, come catch it and try it. What is the level of investment? I mean, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I mean, how much for me to come and just come down and check your product out in person?
Yeah, so that's something that I think we're always going to have a really strong advantage of when it comes to sports entertainment, and something that we place a significant amount of importance on. We don't want to create a barrier where a certain fan won't be able to come and enjoy our game because of the investment. You can get a season ticket for as low as $8 per game. We have $12 single game tickets. So there's an investment and there's a price level really for everybody, and we want anyone and everyone to be able to come and enjoy this, no matter what tax bracket you fall into, because this product is what it is. We think it is so appealing to everybody, and we think it does offer something for everyone. So the promotions we're trying to tie into the community, and we also will make a significant investment in the community and getting tickets out to the schools and through the underprivileged and those that might not ultimately be able to attend a game. And so we'll be doing those things certainly as well. But with an $8 per game season ticket and a $12 entry from a single game ticket standpoint. We think that gives everybody an opportunity to be able to come and check this out. And the one thing, this is another thing that you've talked to anybody that's been in the AFL or come to one of these games. For the most part, when somebody comes to one of these games, they will leave and say, that was pretty cool. That was a good time. I definitely would come back. I've met very few people that have come to one of our games and said, well, that was boring. So we think once people come and try this out for the first time, they're going to want to come back. They're going to tell their friends about it, and they're going to bring them out to the game. And ultimately, once we get them there, it's our job to entertain them. And we're excited about some of the things that we're going to do in order to make that happen this year.
My favorite tab on your website is AFL 101, just so I can learn the rules, right? Like literally just trying to figure out who plays where and why and how. It is the Baltimore Brigade. They are kicking off. I'm wearing the hat. I've been wearing the swag here for a year and a half. It is season number 2. Philadelphia, Washington, Albany, and Baltimore getting after it. And my pal Ted Leones is in the Monumental Sports Group doing it. Jeff, you've been a source of knowledge and information. We'll continue to try to educate the people around here as you guys get going and get down on the field at the Royal Farms Arena. We'll be supporting you throughout the spring and into the summer, and, of course, be around. Just stop by once a week and tell us what's going on, all right, pal?
I'd love to. Thanks so much, Nestor. We appreciate it, and come out and support us.
You got it. Jeff Bowler joining us here from the Baltimore Brigade. There is the hat. If you missed the beginning of that or want to check out any of our stuff, we're doing some cap stuff. Orioles getting ready for the NFL schedule, getting ready for the NFL draft. I did some master stuff earlier this week. We've been talking about the lack of crowds at Orioles games and the weather and the pitching and all that other stuff. You can find it all in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device. By downloading the TuneIn radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. Morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. That is chock full of goodies. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. Summer around the corner. It's going to be in the 80s this week. We're all excited about that. The morning newspaper also includes the Maryland Jockey Club entries for Laurel this weekend. They're running the Tessio next weekend down there. Another prep for the Preakness. As Stan Salter says, they're all Preakness preps at this point. Justify going to be the Derby favorite. I'm chasing down Bob Baffert here in the next couple of weeks as we get ready for the Triple Crown. All the Laurel entries on the front of WNST.net, as well as in our morning newspaper powered up by Planet Fitness. Last but never least, any breaking news happens first on the WNST text service. That's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis Kalatzos will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5. We call it the SSV on WNST. It is the Sunday Sports Voice, now heard on Thursdays from 3 until 5. Some point it's going to be the Thursday Sports Voice. I am Nestor. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.